Hello everyone, today we have Omar with us and he's going to be sharing his journey, his awakening. You're not forced to share anything that you don't feel comfortable with.
No, yeah.
But I think a lot of people are going to be super interested in what you have to say. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Omar, I experienced something that I would have never in my life imagined. Being in my 20s and 30s, and I've heard of stuff like this, and I've never actually. Those are people that need to be medicated, or they need to go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist of some sort. However, that's not the case. 44 of last year's when I experienced this awakening for me. It was an awakening of more of like, it felt like if I was being unplugged. And it felt as if once you were unplugged that you had to guide the ship and everything was being shown to you at the same time. And it was no more as if you were being coached anymore. It was like, now you want to see the truth. This is the truth. You're on your own. And this is how it has to be brought to you. And that's how it is. Again, I'm sharing this because this is my experience of what I felt and how it was for me. And last year, if it wasn't, with the assistance and the help and the tools that we have here today, like Victoria, and my wife also, and other, life coach as well. I mean, it would have been, I probably would not be sitting here right now, and sharing this with you guys.
So what happened, Omar? Tell us what made you decide to seek help?
It was, what happened was, for me, it was, there were some things, some medicines that I decided to take at one point, and it was a medicine that I guess that is a sacred medicine, and this was before I met Victoria, and this kind of opened up something. And I myself was always wondering, is this it? Is this what, life is? Is this the loop? Knowing my past life, also my family's history, also, it was like I wanted to cut the umbilical cord for that, because I was watching certain patterns within myself that I didn't want to carry anymore. And
so the patterns was the reason why you went into the medicine?
Yeah,
okay,
pretty much. And it was the thing is, it was once, and then all of a sudden, and I'm sharing this with you, for the viewers out there. Last year, 2022, it was around July, and it was something that I experienced that I would have never in my entire life experienced. I mean, it was my wife and I and the family, we took a vacation, and I really felt like my mind was not there. It felt like there was something that was holding me, like I was unplugged, and it felt like I was trying to regain some form of balance. And my wife called Victoria, and I remember that conversation, and I actually had to put my hands, and this is how my journey started. This is where I'm getting at now. This is how my journey started. I actually had to dig my feet into the soil, something that I would have never done in my life. And I put my hands in the ground, and I was, trying to regain some form of balance. At that time, that's when I just truly felt like a ton of information. I didn't feel my hands or my legs anymore. It was more of like information. It became like butterflies at first, and then all of a sudden it got really, really dark. Like dark information. And I'm not kidding when I when I say dark, it was something that was like, this is not something I practice, it's kind of in the sense, and this is not who I am. But it was no longer feeling my hands, my body. I didn't feel my torso. The only thing I felt was my head and my heart. And it was like a fuzz. If you were to take a balloon and rub it on the carpet or something and put it on somebody's hair and you could feel the fuzz, that is static, exactly. It was a complete fuzz here and here. It was like if it was an exchange of information. That's how it felt for me. And
so let me just make sure that because the people listening have no idea.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Was that before or after the medicine?
That was before. Yeah.
Before doing the medicine.
Yeah.
So this is before you even decided to go ahead and do that.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you comfortable sharing what medicine did you do?
Yeah, it was Bofu at the time, Bofu. If I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
Bofu. But anyways, the thing is.
So you went to the medicine seeking relief from what you experienced.
Exactly, in that sense,
okay.
Yes. And then the next day, my head was hurting, and that's kind of like it felt as if I was. It felt as if I was given something, I'm not sure truly what I was given, but it definitely was something that I wouldn't want even my worst enemy to experience. And why I say that is because, pain here and there is a come and go. It's temporary, but when it comes to the mind, it is totally different.
It's torture.
It is definitely, that's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
But that was how my journey started. After that, it was just, I was feeling things.
So after you did Bufo, then a month or two later is when we connected, right?
That is correct.
Or I don't know how long.
I think so. It was around,
later?
it was around, that situation happened in in July or August, and then it was around October of last year. So that's when we connected. And my sessions were intense. I shared so much with Victoria, and the thing is, I brought everything to the table, because I wanted her to understand what she's dealing with. It's like a troubleshooting here. So if you don't say what needs to be fixed, or if you can't divulge yourself, then how is it going to get fixed is the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
So I had to come completely clean, and I shared everything with her. And the feelings that I was having were very intense feelings, dark feelings, and it felt also at times when I was around certain people during that time last year until this day, there are certain feelings or certain vibes and I'm not trying to say I'm a psychic or anything like that here at all. It's just I feel certain energies, and again, I wouldn't be talking like this before, but now it's like this is real, the way I see it. You matter, okay, we get it, matter, but when it comes to a spiritual thing, it becomes a whole different ball game.
So why did you come for sessions? What made you decide to do the program?
Because I wanted to, there were certain things that were telling me that I needed to heal and fix within myself, that I didn't want to carry into this new form of earth, or this developing of earth, or this rebirth of earth, in a sense. And they were related, some of these situations were related to my upbringing, trauma upbringing, you know, how I grew up, how my family, you know, how we were treated and everything. You know, one of the things, when I was growing up in my teens, of course, 20s and 30s, it was like if I was actually packing, because I was able to keep pushing through. I was able to keep pushing through. And as I kept packing and packing, and I never spoke to anybody about any of these things, you know, as I thought, you know, myself, okay, this is how it was. This is normal about this world that we live in, you know. But it's like anything else. The more you keep packing, it's got to find its way out. That's just the way I see it. And I know sometimes I think what I'm saying here, I don't want to misinterpret anything. It might sound like I'm going back and forth on some things. It might not sound clear, but you know, my whole situation to me was an experience that I would never ever forget at all. And yeah,
so I think a lot of people are going to be like wondering, what is he talking about? And I know some of these things are extremely personal, so I'm not going to ask you to share some of those things, but you know, normally with the people that come into the program, they're either seeking spiritual development, they're going through the awakening, or they're dealing with a lot of self-esteem issues. They might be dealing with a lot of complicated trauma situations, and sometimes the repeated thoughts, the intrusive thoughts. And I think a lot of people that I see that are dealing with those thoughts, they really believe that something is wrong with them. So finding those pieces related to those thoughts was crucial in your case.
Yeah, I mean, intrusive thoughts, that was, let's put it like this. It was as if, it was, the way it felt, as if my conscious was no longer, it was like taken away, and what came out was my subconscious. It was like the subconscious was ahead of my conscious awareness, where it was like all the information of what the subconscious was given towards childbirth and everything, and probably DNA and ancestral stuff that was passed down, was brought to me as a, here you go.
Well, you did, because you had a lot of sessions where the grandparents were involved.
You know, and the thing is, you know, for me growing up with my parents, you know, much love to them. However, you know, the way I see this is that, you know, it's kind of somewhat, I know I take a little bit from a portion of some things, like what the Bible says, and I might be paraphrasing. And I'm not all religion and all that, and you know, I'm not Baptist, Catholic, or any of that. You know, I believe in source. I believe in God, and there's a God. You know, there is a creator, and we are a form of God like. So we can create if we are given that opportunity from what has been stemmed to us, we should be able to create. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is that, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought.
Childhood.
Yes, I feel as if your children's children, and I'm saying it in some form in the Bible, your children's children will suffer. That's it. And that's a paraphrase right now from what I'm just recalling. And I look at it now as if from what was not healed from my parents' doings, and it was just harnessed and not fixed on their end, it passes over. It's like, okay, now we can no longer send and receive information to them. Now we're going to go ahead and send and receive information to this new person,
to the new generation,
the new generation. And the way I see it, the new generation has to carry its own burden, as well as the other burdens that were not fixed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I really was like taking all of this. And
in the medical community, they have the term epigenetics. Basically, exactly what you're saying, where the genes are passed. Exactly. So the traumas that are in those genes are passed down the future generations unless somebody handles
it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, trust me, I kid you not, I was tempted to drink. I was tempted to take medication, like what psychiatrists or psychologists, I think psychiatrists would prescribe. Psychologists would sit down and more or less kind of, if I'm saying it right. But anyways, I think you guys would understand. And I didn't. And I was like, no, this is something that I felt that I truly had to battle. And I didn't want to numb it down. Because I wanted to cut. Because I have a generation now that I'm bringing for my children that has no linkage. It's like my new family tree. It's like taking the family tree that I was attached to and uprooting those roots off and just, that's it. Don't need it now. Here's my family tree. Here's my generation. Here's my new DNA structure, in the sense, for what I am creating for my children, and then as my children grow up, etc. Yeah.
Right. But I think I do have to be responsible and make sure that people know that if they need medication, they need medication.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I was one of those people that say, Omar, you might need medication. Because, right?
No, there are, yes, there's some people that might not be able to there might be people that might not be able to deal with it.
And there is no shame in that, because
it's just, for me, I just felt like I had to develop something. I really had to heal what needed to be healed. That's just the way I see it for myself. Yeah.
So, can you share with those listening I know that you gave an overview, but if you had quite a few sessions, do you remember it's been so long, I don't remember what you worked on each session?
Some of them, some of the sessions were based off of, thoughts, intrusive thoughts, really bad thoughts, kill thoughts, just like where in the world are these coming from,
But let's make a stop here, because it's important. I know that Omar, for those listening, Omar was one of those people that wanted to run away from some of those sessions because they were very heavy, and I get it, because I seriously do get it. I'm laughing because it's
no,
it was intense.
It was. I kid you not.
But those past lives were like, wow. But the courage that it takes someone to go through those lives that are so dark is unbelievable. Like, I honestly, every time that you were doing your sessions, I'm like, how is he even doing this? Like,
thank you.
It takes so much courage. A lot of people will run away from that because it requires an inner strength that a lot of people don't have.
No, it was I just felt as if, you know, the way I look at it is, I'm gonna kind of touch it with this. What kept the spark inside me was faith. All else, hope, optimistic, all of that.
F that.
There you go. It was faith.
Yeah.
And faith, and just thinking about faith right now gives me a little bit of chills, because without faith, I wouldn't be where I'm at here.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I mean, if those that are viewing this can't accept that, then I'm sorry, because faith is real. And that was the spark that was still there for me.
Yeah, so let's go through. I think a lot of people, when they're doing transpersonal therapy, they think they're going to go to lives where everything is magical and butterflies. But
No.
when we're dealing with trauma, we tend to go to past lives that have trauma involved, because we need to release those traumas.
Yeah, it's not rainbows, it's not butterflies, it's not unicorns. No. That for me, it wasn't rainbow, unicorns, or butterflies. You know, everybody's trauma is different.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear. My trauma was intense. So, you know, and the things that I feel today, you know, is like totally different from what I felt before. You know, I always feel, I'm sorry if people might not agree, my third eye. I feel sometimes like a bump. You know, like if there's a horn coming on, I'm always doing this number, you know. And then sometimes I feel my throat. It just, now I do a lot of meditation. And when I do a lot of meditation, I feel like I can put myself in a zenful state and completely detach from everything. You know, just a real quick thing here. Yesterday I did a meditation with my wife, and I told her exactly what I felt, and it was like, it was jumping from, like if I was able to jump from animal to animal.
That's beautiful.
Just feeling, not seeing.
Yeah. Just
the feeling, the sensation. And I was the real cool thing is that I wasn't even worried about if I had a family or kids or anything. It wasn't there. It was like I was able to feel how a bird would fly, or an eagle or an owl, and how they would twitch, or if they had to scratch themselves, or if they had to move their neck. And this is not National Geographic stuff that I'm describing you here. This is what I felt. And then all of a sudden it became a bear, like a black bear, and how their paws push into the ground. And it was like I was feeling that, and I was like,
Gaia's activation.
Yeah, that was incredible. And I was sharing that, and then when we got out of our meditation, I was crying, and I was just bawling, crying. Like, I was like, back to reality, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Share with us. I know that you also went through quite a few sessions where we had to go through childhood experiences, and sometimes you had to see that, experience that, feel that 3, 4, 5 times throughout the course of the sessions that you did.
Yeah, childhood experience for me. You know, when I was of course, growing up with my parents, it was not a healthy environment at all. It was more our discipline, and I have to use this analogy. Our discipline from our parents was almost as if we were trained at gunpoint all the time. I have to use that analogy because that's the analogy that kind of fits with me on how my lifestyle of growing up was, you know. we dreaded going back to the house. Well, what's it going to be today, you know, kind of deal. Sometimes we had to double up on our pants, you know, so that we don't get spanked with this military belt that our father had. You know, it was like, yeah, but majority of the time that didn't help because we had to be spanked naked, yeah, naked consistently. And yeah, you know, those things that we see, or those things that I experienced, and as well as my brothers and sisters, you know, which I will not mention their names, but you know, out of respect, it's just that, you know, that's what you start structuring. That type of discipline like that starts structuring that I would have to say that bloodline, you know, and in the sense like it as a child thinking that, is this okay?
This is life.
You know,
yeah.
is this it? No, this is not okay. You know, so yeah. I mean, it was. I shared a little bit of what it was, but it was almost every day. It was. I sometimes feel like, you know, now that you're older and stuff, I think I would have been better off in a foster home, you know, versus growing up in that type of environment, as in maybe being an orphan of some sort. You know, maybe it would have been. I wouldn't have that type of trauma, is what I'm saying. That experience. Yeah, but you know, I take that growing up as I would have to say, a lesson. You know, something that I can truly understand. And I can no longer point the blame at my father or mother, because the whole deal is that that's probably how they were trained. You know, that's how they were probably grew up in their life. You know, so with that, yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that part.
Yeah, well, I guess what I was getting at is that sometimes we think, oh, I did this once, I don't have to do it again. But every time that you went through those experiences, there were new levels of what you were doing, and also doing soul retrieval on the little pieces of little Omar that were left behind. Every time there was an intense moment in childhood.
There was a moment that when I was able to grab myself as a kid and just hug myself. Yeah. And, you know, kind of just saying that, I'm about to cry a little. Yeah, you know, I don't want to cry right now, but yeah, seriously. And it was a good feeling, because, you know, seeing, it was like, like you can put yourself in the picture of those moments, of those acts, you know, and you can see yourself as a child and seeing how vulnerable we were.
Yeah.
That was it, you know, and it's, yeah.
Which is what causes soul fragmentation, because we are so little, we think, right, that, okay, if this is happening, what do I have to do to get my parents to love me?
Right.
So, right? So those moments when we are neglected or traumatized in some way, definitely causes our soul to say, oh, I don't want to participate in this anymore.
Exactly.
So it stays a little behind. So.
And there was moments before all of this happened to me. This experience, this awakening. It was, you know, I was also noticing I was catching myself at times on, hey, as how I would discipline my kids at the time, you know, and no, at all. That's it. You know, there's other ways, you know, take away their video game or something, you know, or have them read a book that they don't like or something like that, you know. That's kind of our method, of course, and it works, and you know, yeah. So anyways, no friend time, except you know? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the beautiful part of that was to get to the point where you go through the experience and then you also are able to forgive yourself.
That is correct.
Which
Yeah.
is something that for a lot of us is very hard to do.
Yeah.
To forgive ourselves is like, whoa, no, I deserve that pain. I'm gonna carry that burden because of what I did.
And I used, and I have done that before, where I would, it was the guilt thing, as well as that I'm not worthy because of that. You know, no, heck no.
Yeah.
No, we are all worthy. You know, we are all worthy, definitely. You know, of anything and everything that we're living in here, you know, in this world. We are worthy of everything that we can possibly achieve, or whatever we choose to do, you know. We should not, one thing, limit ourselves based on our, you know, based on our upbringing. And I know that we can be, because we start looking at ourselves as the victim, you know, and no more victim. That's it. That's old now.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Share with us your thoughts on hypnosis and regression before you started doing your own sessions. What were your thoughts about it?
My thoughts about hypnosis and
regression work.
Okay.
I mean, you also had a lot of rapé sessions, so you can talk about that.
Yeah, the rapé sessions were those really brought me deep into my soul, I would have to say, as far as what needed to be fixed. From what I would have to say, my past,
to be released,
to fix things that were not fixed before you can actually move on or ascend to the next level, you know.
But the rapé session we did with regression work, so it's not just taking rapé and
right.
That's it.
No, of course.
But
and there was a moments of integration. When after you experienced that, and then it was like those integration moments were integrating. My expression, it was serious. It was intense, you know. I started was I really that person? You know, was I really that person in that life? You know, it was like, you know, that's how it felt. Seriously. And you actually, the way I said it, faith, you know, that was my top medicine, faith.
So, but I'm wondering, like, what did you knew anything about hypnosis and regression work before?
Oh, no, not at all.
So you didn't have any pre-assumptions about this is gonna work, this is not gonna work?
No, I didn't. I mean, you know, you would see movies, like, you know, certain movies that, I don't know, they were there was movies that I've seen before, but I was like, okay, it's just movies. But, you know, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, we didn't do hypnosis really.
Yeah.
Besides, we did a lot of regression and rapé sessions.
That's the.
Yeah.
That was it was the rapé. It was something more of that was a calling for me, You know, that's the way I can just say it. It was something that I felt was needed for my healing. You know, everybody's different again. You know, you might not need to have rapé. You might need something else besides rapé.
Or nothing at all.
Or nothing, exactly. Yeah.
So, so what are your thoughts now? What will you say to people that are thinking about doing regression work? Because I know for a few months you were like, I am not doing any more past life, this life, no life. I am done.
It was, you know, for those that are seeking, you know, help, as well as, you know, to be, just seeking help. I mean, it boils down to you. That's just how that's the best thing that I can say. It all boils down to you. How far do you want to take your soul journey? You know, how far do you want to heal what needs to be healed? You know, that's how I would have to look at it. Yeah.
And can you also talk to us about spirit releasement? Because there were, especially at the beginning, there were quite a few spirits.
Yeah. I know that it was last year, and this one was
But wait, let's make sure that we highlight the fact that you were also having a lot of dreams, and we use your dreams to go deeper into those lives. So with those dreams, we were able to pinpoint the lives that had the most powerful meaning to release so that you can feel better. So I think that's important, because a lot of people are thinking, oh, the dreams are just the dreams, and they don't realize how important it is to
the dreams that I had were, oh my gosh, they were just intense. You know, it wasn't as if it was movie created. It wasn't as if it was me that I watched movies and that was something that was programmed into my mind and coded to create while I was sleeping. No.
You didn't even have the TV. You got rid of the TV.
Exactly. The TV was something I got rid of a long time ago. But so with these, and even before that, even when I was in my 30s or 20s, I was having some of these dreams, but I never paid any attention to them.
Right.
You know, I was like, man, it was a very, and I can remember these dreams like.
Some of them were nightmares.
Yeah, they were very intense.
Right.
Very intense.
I think it's important for those that are going through spiritual awakening, or if you're not going through spiritual awakening, the dream state can give us, it's like a cheat sheet of what we need to work through in order for us to feel, because the goal is to feel better here now.
That's correct.
It's not about tomorrow or 10 years from now. It's what do I need to feel better here now? And in our dream state, we get the cheat sheets so that we can work on them.
It's like the shaking, you know, as things continue to shake within your brain, and it just keeps pushing up and up and up and up and up, and it has to come out. You know, all that compacting, you know, now it's just, you know, the light is the key, and the light is something that you can't run away from. And I'm not here to throw fear in anyone in any way. No.
Yeah, but
that's just. Go ahead.
I think I forgot what I asked you. I think I asked you about the spirit
releasement.
Was okay?
Yeah, it was in regards to oh my gosh.
Oh, that through one of your dreams.
Dreams, yeah.
One of the spirits, you saw one of the spirits. Like, was it a vision or something? I remember one of them actually showed up at the house, right? Like knock on the door or something.
Oh yeah. That was interesting. That was like, I felt as if it was a what would you call, what do you call those, attach,
Spirit attachment?
no, spirit attack, maybe that was, I'm not sure. All I know is that the dream was when somebody knocked at the door, and I was watching TV in the dream, of course, the TV in my own house. I opened the door, and it was nighttime, and I saw this. It was a kid, you know, tan, little bit dark skinned, pelo cortito, hair was kind of short, but little curl, like you know, the hairstyle, you seemed like it was Spanish, but you know, the hairstyle was like more of African type hair, you know, and he had a gray tank top on, and all of a sudden, you know, I look back at the TV, and then this person's just inside the house, and then all of a sudden it was just transitioning to other. It just kept transitioning from one thing to another, and then we were in the living room, and then all of a sudden this person was not saying anything, just kept staring at me, and I wasn't paying any attention to it. But then all of a sudden he like grabbed my shoulders, and at the time it was like if he grabbed my shoulders and tried to jump in through me, and that's when I woke up. It was that was like whoa, yeah, that was like whoa, yeah, that was pretty that was like whoa, yep.
Yeah. Amazing language today.
That's it. Layman's term. Whoa. Yeah.
So when you were trying to run away from completing the last couple of sessions that you had left, what was going on with you? If you can give us a quick overview.
It was as if it felt as if something was trying to, like, it just didn't want me to heal what needed to be healed, and it kept pulling me back. Like, it felt as if there was a form of a force of some sort. Just, no, Omar. No, you're not gonna do that. No, you're not gonna go. I'm gonna make you feel good right now. I'm gonna make your thoughts go away right now, Omar. I'm gonna make your thoughts go away. And I'm kid you not. Right when my sessions were getting ready, I would be feeling okay. I would be feeling all right, you know. But no, I still went. And that's I don't have to say, that son of a bitch was like, oh, I thought I could have gotten you, kind of in the sense. I'm just saying. It was like, that's exactly how it was. Sometimes when I had to go, and I was like, this has to be done. That's it. You know, these are healings that I have to face. You gotta face them. That's just point blank. Things have to be faced. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also on the last session there were some, but actually on the first couple of sessions and the last session we found more implants, didn't we?
Yeah, and those were I think they were here and here, if I recall. Yeah. And those were more, I would have to say, this one here felt as if it was based on the dream that I had.
Yeah, connected to it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that dream was just, you know, really intense. And just to share a little bit, it was as if I was in a dumbs, down in a cave somewhere, and these columns, they were like more of like if they were caves of mud clay, and it was just columns, as if these things were in chains. They were on chains. They were stuck in chains, and I'm not sure what it was, but I'm kid you not. It was like they didn't have face, no hands, but you would see as if they were like sealed like this, the hands and the cuffs, and I was trying, and I my intention in the dream was to save, help, and all of a sudden, as I was trying to go over to save this thing, it reached underneath my rib here, like it dug in there, like if doing some form of mixed martial arts or something like that. It dug in there, and that's when I was like, the more I was trying to pull the chain, the more harder it was digging, and I was like, and that's when I woke up, and I was like, oh yeah, I woke up from that. That was a very intense. These are my dreams. Last year is what I'm talking about. I just want to make that clear. And these were dreams that I had to heal from, also with my sessions with Victoria.
So how are your dreams now?
My dreams now are pleasant. Kid you not. I'm having dreams more of my family now. My family. Layla, Christian, Yesenia, Papa Pedro, yeah. So, yeah, just having more dreams of them. That's it.
So they're pleasant.
They're pleasant.
You're able to get rest?
My dreams are pleasant. I'm able to get rest. Yeah, sometimes I still have a little bit of back pain, but anyways, as far as sleep, yeah, I get rest. I do get rest, and now it's like I look forward towards my sleeping. Yeah. Before I didn't want to go, so what's it going to be today? Kind of deal with my rest before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else would you like to share? Anything else that you feel like you want to share? Or let me see if I have any other questions.
I think it just for those that are are experiencing, and again, I wanted to share what I had to share here, and I know I have a lot of more stuff, but we would be here for hours sharing. But for those that are awakening and feeling these things or experiencing these things, all I can say is you're not alone in any way. You're not alone. And it's not that you're ill or that you're a victim. No. These are things that if you are able to, if you're aware of them, then there's nothing wrong with you.
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's a very important message, because sometimes people get in the loop of the thoughts that they cannot see outside of the thoughts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that, where there is, even though there are millions of people that can help them, the idea of that loop is so thick that they cannot see outside of that loop.
That is true.
So the moment that you realize that I have a weird thought or I have a weird, feeling or sensation in my body, it is the time when you need to address it. Because if you let yourself go in it to the point that you cannot come out of it by yourself, you can get trapped in that loop almost.
That is correct. I totally agree. And that was something that I would have to say that could have happened to me.
Well, you got lucky because your wife.
Yeah. If it wasn't for my wife,
angel.
If it wasn't for her, and Victoria, like I said, this conversation would not be happening. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we, as a healing practitioner, we do what we can on our end, but to have that type of support at home,
it was tremendous.
I mean, I honestly don't think you would have made it without her being in the picture.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, it probably would have been a different course for me. I know it would have. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, so getting a group of people, if you don't have a partner, wife, husband, or boyfriend, or family member, getting a group of people to support you in the journey, for those that don't have it,
Yeah.
it might be crucial. Because to do this alone, to go through what you went through alone,
Yeah.
it's almost like fighting against the whole ocean.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think, let's see. I think you cover everything. What was the most important thing for you in achieving success with your sessions with me?
Knowing that that's not who I am. Yeah. This is who I am.
Yeah, and it's so easy for us to forget our true essence.
Exactly.
Because we're so burdened with all the traumas,
Yeah.
the deep, heavy experiences that we experience in the womb, in childhood, teenager, adult.
Yeah.
That we are covered by so much
Layered.
wounds, right?
Layered. Yeah.
But once we tap into that true essence of who we are, we can kind of like even taste what it feels like. Yeah.
I agree.
I was going to ask you something else, but I forgot.
It's okay.
How long did it take you to recuperate after each session?
Oh, oof, yeah. It took a while. Yeah, sometimes it took almost a month to 2 months for me. Yeah. It was
To recuperate from the sessions?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was because there was integration.
Yeah.
And those integrations, whew, yeah, those were strong. Those were strong. Yeah.
Okay. Last message for those listening. Anything else you want to share with them?
That's it. Faith.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding us.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for listening. We are
you.
so grateful that you share your journey with us, and hopefully those that are going through similar things can really
Exactly.
feel, the energy of hope, because I think at the end of the day, that's what you bring us the most today.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can do it.